Welcome to March's Top Picks. Keep reading. Hey, Terri Gillespie here, and welcome to March's Top Picks. And I know I say it every month, but I am so excited about this month because we have some of my favorite authors and a lot of different genres. So let's get started. So the first book is my lead book, and the lead book means that I will be interviewing this author, best-selling and award-winning author, Jaime Jo Wright, and we'll be talking more about this book with her, and she'll be reading a portion of the book. So her latest release is Night Falls on Predicament Avenue, and it's published by Bethany House and will release April 9th. So pre-order! And I'll have the link down below to a variety of different retail outlets. So if you have special deals with certain companies like Amazon or Barnes & Noble or Books A Million, I'll have the links down below. So, okay, so Jaime is one of my go-to writers. And when I interview her, and actually because she was traveling out of town, I actually interviewed her already. So I know what this interview is going to be like. It is so cool. So anyway, this latest book it's considered romantic suspense, but she likes to say it's Christian goth. And for a definition of that, you'll have to watch the interview because it's really fascinating and funny and inspirational. So if you've never read a Jaime Jo Wright, let me tell you a little bit about her. So Jaime Jo Wright is the author of 9 novels, including Christie Award and Daphne du Maurier Award winner, The House on Foster Hill, and Carroll Award winner, The Reckoning at Gossamer Pond. She's also the Publishers Weekly and ECPA best-selling author of 2 novellas. Jaime lives in Wisconsin with her cat named Foo, and Foo makes an appearance in the interview too. Her husband, Captain Hook, and their 2 mini adults, Peter Pan and Coco. Doesn't she sound fun? She really is. Witty and just brilliant. Anyway, here's a summary. In 1910, and she always does dual timelines because history is very important to her. She said history is echoes into modern day, and if we pay attention, we can really learn a lot about ourselves. So in 1910, Effie joins forces with an English newcomer to discover what lies behind the doors of the abandoned house on Predicament Avenue. In the present day, Nora reluctantly inherits the house turned bed and breakfast, where her first guest, a crime historian and podcaster, is set on uncovering the truth about what haunts this place. All right, so I'll read the first paragraph. All right. Okay, so there are actually 3 point of views. Yeah, 3 point of views. And one of them is simply identified as her. And so we start with her. Sometime in the past, I can hear the darkness. It is like a breeze on a frigid winter's night that rattles the leafless branches. It is like the cold that travels through your open mouth and down your throat, a frozen kiss stealing your breath. It is like a blizzard that swallows you in its swiftness, blinding behind and before and side to side. Darkness is winter. It is the end. It is death. That's beautiful, isn't it? And a little sinister and scary. The surprise ending is amazing, and the takeaways, phenomenal. Okay, next book is Tracie Peterson's A Love Discovered, and it is the first book in the Cheyenne, the Heart of Cheyenne series. So it's the first book in the series, and everyone loves Tracie Peterson. So I guess you can probably tell from the cover of the book that this is historical romance, and it's set in the Wild West, I would consider. So this is published also by Bethany House. It was released a couple weeks ago, so you can order it now, and I would order it as soon as possible. It comes, oh, by the way, Jaime's book comes in hardback, paperback, ebook, and audiobook. And Bethany House published this one in hardback, paperback, ebook, audiobook, and large print for us old folks. All right, so if you're not familiar with Tracie Peterson, then you're probably new to Christian fiction. So she's a great standby, great writer, amazing writer, and I love her daughter too. Okay, here's her bio. Tracie Peterson is the best-selling author of more than 100 novels, both historical and contemporary, and I do love her contemporary. She hasn't done a whole lot of that of late, but I do. Oh, I love her contemporary. With nearly 6 million copies sold. She has won the ACFW Lifetime Achievement Award and the Romantic Times Career Achievement Award. Her avid research resonates in her many best-selling series. Tracie and her family make their home in Montana. Love Montana. Okay, so here's a summary. Mary Beth and Edward are compelled by their circumstances to marry as they trek west to the newly formed railroad town of Cheyenne, Wyoming. But life in Cheyenne is fraught with danger, and they find that they need each other more than ever. Despite the trials they face, happiness await them in this arrangement of convenience. Well, I'm sure you can kind of guess. But it's a great story, really great story. Lots of twists and turns. All right, first paragraph. I just want you to see, here's some of the books that she's written. And I actually have another book this month that she co-wrote. So, okay. November 1867, Independence, Indiana. It seems all I ever do is attend funerals, Mary Beth Kruger murmured as the cemetery caretakers began shoveling dirt over her father's casket. Next book, Irene Hannon, Sandcastle Inn, and this is book 10 in the Hope Harbor series. And this is published by Revell, and it releases next week, April 2nd. So pre-order, because one of the things that I've learned is if you pre-order, a lot of times you will get the book on the day it releases instead of waiting until the book releases. And then you have to wait a week to get it, or a couple days. Anyway, it's published in hardback, paperback, ebook, and audiobook. So I've decided that if I ever become a fictional character, I will move to Hope Harbor. That will be where I live. And I have a tiny little shop that sells, I don't know, cookies, baked goods, something. Anyway, it's just so cool. And you don't have, like I said, you don't have to read all 10 of the books or all 9 of the books to begin with this one. They're all pretty good as standalones. What's great when you do that is that you get backstory on some of the real characters that are usually show up in the books, like Charlie's taco place, fish tacos, and the 2 little seagull couple. So here's a little about Irene. And of course, this is contemporary romance, in case you couldn't tell. Irene Hannon is the best-selling and award-winning author of more than 60 contemporary romance and romantic suspense novels. In addition to her many honors, she is a 3-time winner of the prestigious Rita Award from Romance Writers of America. She is also a member of RWA's Elite Hall of Fame and has received a Career Achievement Award from Romantic Times Book Reviews for her entire body of work. Okay, so here's a summary. When a man struggling to recoup from a tragic loss and a woman still reeling from an unplanned career detour, yeah, she was laid off. Really sad. They joined forces to save a floundering B&B on the Oregon coast. Oregon, not Oregon. They might also discover that hope and healing can sometimes be found in the most unexpected places. I know that's the summary that the oh, and look at this. This is Hope Harbor. I mean, don't you love it? So, yeah, I just love it. Anyway, okay, first paragraph. Okay, I'm going to read a couple lines because they're real short. Good grief. What on earth had Kay gotten herself into? Matt Quinn braked, gravel crunching beneath the tires as his Mazda came to a stop in front of his sister's new business. No. Scratch new. Beachview Bed and Breakfast might be new to Kay, but that adjective didn't come anywhere close to describing the cedar-shake covered structure with the whimsical turret on one end. Yeah, it was pretty run down and a mess. Great. Okay. Oh. Another go-to author. Erin Bartels, the lady with the dark hair. Isn't it a great cover? And she always has these really cool titles that just kind of leave a spark of mystery. Okay, so this is published by Revell, and it's in hardback, paperback, e-book, and audiobook. And it is a dual timeline, so that means you have a historical timeline and you also have a contemporary. And I gotta tell you, Erin is one of those authors that she makes you think. And so you always feel so good afterwards. It's like a sense of accomplishment. It's like, this is about artists, and it's like finishing a painting. And, it just, I don't know how to describe it. I should be, I'm an author too. I should be able to do that. All I can tell you is there's a visceral sense of my brain being used. Anyway, it's just so good. And this book especially had a very, very strong mystery element in both timelines. So, and if you like mystery, you're gonna love this even more. Okay, so this is published by Revell. I said, okay. So here's a little bit about Erin. Erin Bartels is the award-winning author of We Hope for Better Things. Great. The Words Between Us. Yes. All That We Carry, The Girl Who Could Breathe Underwater. That's my first Erin book, and I was sold after reading that. And Everything Is Just Beginning. She lives and paints in a small town near Michigan's capital city. Okay, so this summary is a little bit longer because we have both protagonists from both timelines. Toulouse, France, 1879. Catalan orphan turned refugee Viviana Torrens has found sanctuary serving in the house of the aging artist in southern France. It is in his studio that she meets Francesco Vella, a Gibraltaran merchant who sells pigments to artists. And oh, by the way, that's fascinating. I had no idea how paints came about. Fascinating. Your mind's gonna. When her past catches up with her, she is compelled to pose as Vella's sister and join him on his travels or be deported back to Spain to stand trial. Along the way, she will discover that the many parts she has been playing in order to hide her identity have far-reaching implications she never could have foreseen. Okay, the next timeline, East Lansing, Michigan, present day. Esther Markstrom and her artist mother have always been proud of their ancestor, painter Francesco Vella. They even run a small museum and gallery dedicated to raising awareness of his scandalously underappreciated work. But when Esther reconnects with her former art history professor, she finds her once solid family history on shaky ground as he questions Bella's greatest work, a portrait entitled The Lady with the Dark Hair. This dual timeline story from award-winning author Erin Bartels takes you on a captivating journey across time and continents where past and present converge in a relentless search for truth, identity, and the freedom to follow one's dreams. Telling you, so amazing. Okay, chapter 1, Southern France, 1879. Viviana, no, it's Viviane now, dipped her brush, squared her shoulders, and began to scrub. Beneath the stiff bristles, the crusted remains of some long-forgotten ragout broke away from the edges of the coquette, and the copper pot began to sing. It was the 8th pot she'd scoured so far, and it would not be the last. Lizette had seen to that. Got a good conflict going. All right. Another go-to author, Lynn Blackburn. Now, many of you probably have read at least one Lynn Blackburn book. And this is a new series, Gossamer Falls. It's the first book, Never Fall Again. And it's published by Revell, and it came out a couple weeks ago in hardback, paperback, ebook, and audiobook. And this is romantic suspense, contemporary romantic suspense. So here's a little bit about Lynn Blackburn. She is the award-winning author of Unknown Threat, Malicious Intent, and Under Fire, as well as a dive team investigation series. She loves writing swoon-worthy Southern suspense because her childhood fantasy was to become a spy, but her grown-up reality is that she's a huge chicken. Me too. Hey, Lynn, when we get to heaven, we're not going to be chickens anymore. We're going to do all sorts of daring things. My first thing is getting in the cockpit of an F-15. Okay. Let's see. She prefers to live vicariously through her characters by putting them into terrifying situations while she sits at home in her pajamas. That's my girl. She lives in Simpsonville, South Carolina, with her true love, Brian, and their 3 children. Yes. Okay, here is the summary. And you might hear some character names. If you're a Lynn Blackburn fan, you might hear some character names that show up in this new series. It's pretty cool. Landry Hutton has spent 3 years rebuilding her life behind the secure gates of the Haven, an exclusive resort on the outskirts of Gossamer Falls, North Carolina. After serving as the artist in residence, Landry is finally ready to settle in permanently to give her daughter Eliza a safe home in which to grow up. Former Marine Callum Shaw always knew he would someday join his family's construction business in Gossamer Falls. He longs for a family of his own, but has almost given up on that ever happening. The beautiful artist who has hired him to build her new house is funny, gifted, and everything Cal could ever want in a partner, but he vows to keep his distance. He's loved and lost someone like her before. When Landry's pottery is destroyed in a suspicious fire, it becomes clear that Landry and Eliza are in grave danger. But from whom? Cal will have to risk his heart again if he has any hope of protecting them. There's so many twists and turns with this book. You're going to love it. You won't be able to put it down. All right. Chapter 1. Landry Hutton didn't believe dreams came true anymore. She'd had dreams a long time ago. They'd nearly destroyed her. Still might. All right. Last book is another Tracie Peterson. And this is co-authored by Kimberley Woodhouse. Now, they are a great team. They just mesh together so well, giving a lot of depth and detail. So this is published by Bethany House, and this one will not come out until May 21st. So you're getting a little heads up on this. And that also means pre-order, because a lot of times there's special giveaways and things like that from the publisher. And Bethany House is known to do that. So this is historical romance, and it's published in hardback, paperback, and ebook. And I have a feeling, because this is so early in the game, it'll probably also have an audiobook by the time it gets close to release. So I'm optimistic. Okay, so here are the author bios. Tracie Peterson, of course, we just talked about her earlier, is the award-winning author of more than 100 novels, both historical and contemporary. Her avid research resonates in her many best-selling series. Tracie and her family make their home in Montana. Now, I forgot to say the name of the book, With Each Tomorrow, and this is the book 2 in the Jewels of Kalispell. Kalispell is such a gorgeous city. We had friends in Libby, Montana, and we would always drive through Kalispell because we lived in Seattle. So, yes, beautiful. Wouldn't mind living there myself since I can't move to Hope Harbor. Kimberley Woodhouse, the co-author, is an award-winning best-selling author of more than 30 fiction and nonfiction books. Kim and her incredible husband of 30-plus years live in Colorado. Okay, so here is the summary. Eleanor Briggs travels to Kalispell, Montana with her conservationist father to discuss the formation of Glacier National Park, which is unbelievable. It's breathtaking. And sparks fly when she meets Carter Brunswick, despite their differences. As the town fights to keep the railroad, the dangers Eleanor and Carter face will change the course of their lives. All right. Prologue, October 1894, New York City. Watching the person she loved most in the world die was the absolute worst experience ever. Nothing could be as dreadful, not even dying herself. All right, that's this month. I mean, how many are you interested in? I can tell you I loved them all, so hopefully you'll find at least one or two. So thanks for watching. I'll look forward to seeing you at the A2A interview and also next month for my April top picks. In the meantime, God bless and keep reading.